Alright guys, I'm back in the gym, 5 weeks out now from the WBFF, and as you can see, I got the gym all to myself. So it's all about chest today. I'm starting off on a couple of warm-up sets on some light dumbbells, and as you'll see, compared to my other workouts, this workout is going to be more about high volume and intensity because I've been dropping my carbohydrates, I've been adding in the cardio, and as a result, my strength, my body fat is starting to decrease. So let's get to it. I like to do a couple of stretches with this straight bar, keeping the elbows soft, just to help open out and stretch all of the muscle fibers in the chest. So my focus now is all about conditioning and getting some separation and detailing in the muscle, as opposed to being focused too much on size. I don't know whether it's the lack of music in the gym or really just because my carbs are now dropping down and it's getting that much closer to the competition, but my strength certainly isn't there. So to make up for that, what I'm doing is making sure I take the muscle through a full range of motion, all the way up, full contracting it, and then a deep squeeze. And when I come back down, try and get that nice deep stretch to open out all the muscle fibers, which helps, I find, with that conditioning, and when my body fat levels are low enough, get that graininess, that kind of ropey effect in the muscle. Okay, I'm still gonna go one heavier, and then I'll start to drop, set it down, and deplete the muscle in that movement. Right, this is only about 3/4 of the usual weight that I normally lift, so it's quite a big drop in strength. Now, one of the reasons why I'm using dumbbells and not sticking with a barbell or Smith machine is so that I can really focus on that isolateral movement for the upper chest here. So even though I'd never do that particular pose on stage, it's going to help me bring some more detail and these like finger-like striations in my upper chest. So when I'm stood there relaxed, and with fitness modeling, it's really just the abs and the pose. You don't stand there doing like a bodybuilder pose. So when I'm stood there relaxed, keeping focused on my abs, my chest and shoulders, my back, still look quite pumped without me needing to blow them up like that. So my training is now becoming more specific to how I'm going to appear on stage. Basically what you're going to see in 5 weeks time is just a slightly more detailed conditioned version of how I am now. Alright, stick with this. One more lighter set, and this time to complete failure. basically what I'm doing there is after I've done my last set of each exercise and all the exercises to come, I'm gonna isometrically hold that muscle and tense it, increasingly adding to that tension for about 10 seconds. This is like rinsing a dishcloth, and I find it's a great way to get all of that energy out of the muscle fibers, and I feel pumped in my chest. But when I go on to my next exercise now for some dumbbell flies to really open it up, I'm really going to start to see some more definition and those finger-like striations form in the inner part of my chest. So great exercise for focusing on detail for that inner thickness. I'm going to work in a couple of variations doing flat bench and decline dumbbell flies, really to hit more of my upper pectorals and help stretch them out too. Honestly, one of my best chest exercises for really getting that definition on the inner portion of the chest. Again, I'm going to keep pushing that weight up. Just those final few seconds, 10 at the very most, of squeezing the muscle as hard as I can is harder than the final rep of that last work set. Last one for flies. I'm going to stretch it out and just hold that open. That's a good stretch. Oh. So all I'm doing is shorter range reps and faster tempo, just to basically get all that blood pumped into the chest. And then when I start to go, when I hit muscle failure, which is pretty soon, 1 or 2 full range motion ones to really squeeze all of the energy left in that muscle group. It's a very different style of training than I'm used to, with going heavy and hitting failure and doing my drop sets and rest pauses, but this is what I find it takes to take my physique down to that next stage, ready for the competition. One thing I've started doing pretty much from this week and here on in until the show is, when I hit my muscle failure, instead of doing a rest pause, drop sets, or continuing to try to push past my training threshold, I'm simply dropping the weight back down and just giving it everything I've got to get maybe 5 more reps on top of that last set. So I pretty much maxed out on the last weight, and we're looking at 155 pounds as warm-up weight normally, but 10-12 reps is all I've got. Now I've stripped it down to 135, and bearing in mind I'm doing a compound movement after having done 2 like isolateral movements with dumbbells, so this is much harder, let alone with the whole carb depletion. As you saw, I gave it everything I got. The first 10 or 12 reps were quite fast, quite explosive, but then within 2 or 3 reps, by the time I went from 12 reps to 15, everything was gone. And that's a good sign that I really am depleting my chest muscle of glycogen, or what's left with the lack of carbs I'm having. Switching it up for the final exercise. Compound bench over to some cable flies, and again varying the different heights to really work the full spectrum of the chest. Saving the best till last. Alright guys, that's it. Chest workout over. It's been short but intense. I'll be back here hopefully next week, and I'll continue showing the final, I guess really 4 weeks left until I'll be on stage making my return at the WBFF World Fitness Model Championships, and who knows what could happen. So make sure you follow me on my Facebook group, Twitter, and you can see all of my nutrition and daily blogs on robrichards.com. See you guys soon.